Reaction there from Kabul. Well, up next here on France 24, it's business with our business editor, Kate Moody.
We've seen oil prices sliding as much as 5% earlier this Monday. Now, they have recovered most of those losses and are actually trading slightly higher as we approach the end of the trading session. A barrel of international Brent trading at around $38.49, US WTI around $36. But prices had dropped by as much as $2 per barrel earlier on. As you can see on our graph, it was the lowest price since May for that international benchmark. US WTI, meanwhile, down around 9% from its peak for 2020, which occurred back in August. Now, since the beginning of the pandemic, the problem here has really been low demand for oil. Travel, shipping, manufacturing has all dropped dramatically. Now, as France, Germany, Belgium, and England tighten their restrictions on movement, Goldman Sachs says that that's going to reduce demand for oil on a global scale by as much as 2 million barrels per day just from those new restrictions in those 4 countries. Production of oil, meanwhile, is rising. OPEC's going to be meeting later this month to decide if its members can officially start pumping more oil. But we know that Libya's output has already risen sharply in recent weeks. Activity by U.S. rigs, meanwhile, has hit its highest level since May. All of that combined with these fears that this second wave of COVID infections is really going to slow any economic recovery that we had seen starting, all of that leading to a very choppy session on the oil markets.
Okay, and the drop in air travel, no doubt as well, playing a big part in that decrease in demand for oil. And today we've been hearing yet more dire news, haven't we? And it's come from one of Europe's biggest airlines.
Yeah, from Ryanair, which says that it's going to be further cutting back its winter schedule. Between November and March, it'll be operating at most, it says, 40% of the flights that were flying compared to the same period a year ago. Its passenger numbers were down 80% in the 6 months from April to September, and it says that its financial losses could get even worse in the 6 months to come. Now, Ryanair's CEO, very outspoken man, he's been again calling on European governments to increase their coordination when it comes to travel guidelines, especially in this crucial Christmas travel period. He's asking for them to aggressively introduce pre-departure testing. And the reason that Ryanair is so important is because it's Europe's biggest carrier by passenger numbers. And its warnings really underscore the problems that are being faced by the aviation sector as a whole, where tens of thousands of jobs are at risk around the world. Along with the hospitality industry, it's going to be one of the last to recover once the pandemic is finally brought under control.